It's so peaceful out here in the garden this morning. Over the next few days, I'm going to do a little transplanting. This is our marshmallow root. I harvested some of that last night. Got a spaghetti squash growing here, and it's starting to make a squash. I have a whole bunch of tomatoes that came up, and I have a few herbs that I pulled out of the grow room that weren't happy in there. Another squash. I actually don't remember what kind that one is. Yarrow superhero herb over here. Another squash. Look at these tomatoes. These tomatoes have been a rock star. These are the Thornton tomatoes, and they handle high heat. We already harvested 10 fist-sized tomatoes off these tomatoes, and they're starting to put more on, which is wonderful. I'm so thrilled about this because I love tomatoes, and I would love to make pasta sauce from our tomatoes like I used to do in Alaska. That would be so awesome. This is our Stella cherry. I went ahead and took the top section off like you're supposed to. You have to create a strong canopy when you're growing fruit trees, and every fruit tree is slightly different. So we did our pruning for this year on this tree. Over here is the cucumber garden that did not succeed. The spot is too hot. I'm thinking I might be able to grow some mullein in this place, possibly. Maybe a few other medicinal herbs. Looks like calendula is still alive, and there's a couple other things coming up out here, but this bed wasn't the happiest bed, as you can see. I'll say one thing about these sunflower seeds, though. They actually deterred pests from other things that I was growing, which is great because I don't really care if my sunflower seed leaves get eaten, but I'd prefer they didn't do that to my tomatoes or my squash, right? This apple, this Anna apple, we planted this 6 years ago, I think, and this tree has been amazing. And it put on a couple of late blooms, and let's just take a look and see if that's actually doing anything. I don't know if we might get 2 more apples on this possibly. That would be pretty cool, right? Let's see, where are they? Here we go. Those look pretty puny, but this one right here actually looks like it could potentially set. And I don't know if that one will or not, but we'll see. We'll just keep an eye on that. This year we're not getting a whole lot of fruit on our grapefruit, and I think it's because the critters ate them off. We've been getting 11 grapefruit a year on this. There's one right there. This makes giant, see that other one back over there? Here, let me come over here. Giant, wonderful ruby red grapefruit. So we're only going to get 2 this year. But what I noticed is this tree doubled in size this summer, so it actually had a growth year without having all the grapefruit on it. So that's a good trade-off because that means we might get even more fruit next year. Definitely going to have to do some pruning on this, but not while there's any fruit on it. And I actually want to try grafting that onto our rootstock over here. This is our lemon graft that succeeded, and this one is still alive. It's taking longer than the other one to get any leaves on it, but I think it's still going to be successful. This one clearly was, and all this other green you see is the rootstock. So I think when I start grafting, I'm actually going to try grafting where the rootstock is trying to come out, right? We'll see how that works. It needs to cool off a little more before I try that again. We are having a wonderful year for our lemon. There are lemons setting on all over this tree, and it just required a little TLC to get this thing to set fruit and keep it on. And we're down here. I tell you, this gives me some happiness because we are definitely some lemon using people. And I'm having a hard time seeing them right now. Boy, please don't let anything eat those. Oh, here's one right here. We've got some more growth going on this lemon tree too. I kind of decided to try to keep this a little more. Oh, here's one. They play hide and seek. Until they get bigger than the leaves, they're a little hard to see. I kind of decided to keep this tree a little smaller. It actually can get quite tall, like maybe 20 feet tall. But I decided to keep it smaller because it's enough work as it is to keep it adequately watered, hydrated at this size, right? It's just a little taller than I am. But the last I counted, there's at least 43 lemons sitting on. They hide really well. Of all the zucchini we planted, we have one left that's still alive, and it's getting so much shade here, I don't expect anything's going to happen. There was one right here, and it was starting to set a zucchini on, and it just died all of a sudden. But one thing I'm a little suspicious of is all these ants down here that came across the wall. It's almost like the people behind us sprayed and their ants came over, because there was actually a huge trail of them right here. And I sprayed my wall with vinegar and that seemed to help, but I'm going to spray some more on those guys, right? Maybe some boric or diatomaceous earth, not boric acid. This is the almond that we're cutting back because we're going to try to graft plums onto it. We just really haven't gotten enough almonds to justify having this tree take up space in our little yard. And it was blocking light to this pomegranate, which affected the production. And over here, this pomegranate that gets lots of light, you can see it's covered in pomegranates, which is wonderful. We are looking forward to enjoying that soon, very soon, probably October. And check out this paddle cactus fruit. Look at this. We've been juicing paddle cactus fruit the last couple days, and you can see that the birds have been enjoying this as well. We have a lot of paddle cactus fruit, so I guess I'll share them a little bit. Don't really have any choice. And our figs are starting to get ripe, which is awesome. It looks like I have a couple more to pick. You have to pick them before the birds do. So every day, actually twice a day, I'm checking this tree now for ripe fruit. I picked some last night. See, there's a couple more. Definitely got to get out here and do some picking once I'm done watering. But yeah, it's cool enough this morning. I think I'll water and do just a little bit of transplanting of all these tomatoes that we have coming up, and I'll pick some figs. Let's just take a look at our kumquat over here. We're getting some kumquats, and hopefully we'll get some more. I feel like this will start setting some more fruit as it cools off. You gotta play hide and seek. When they're green, they blend in with the leaves. And these are our jujubes that we transplanted, and the dirt was really wet, so we took them out of containers. They weren't happy. You can see this one almost died, right? Because they can get root rot if they get too wet. Just didn't work to have bubblers in containers. Plus we had some rain. It happens once in a while. This one here is showing some promise. Over here we're getting pumpkins. Look at that beautiful pumpkin. And now that it cooled off a little bit, it's actually setting some more on, which is wonderful. Last year I got 6 pumpkins in this location. And look at our wildflower mix from the Tractor Supply, which just happens to include a lot of basil, which I am thrilled for, and some beautiful flowers. Got a couple of yellow birds of paradise coming up here. This thing reseeded and I missed getting the pods off. Going to share that with my friend Sierra, who's getting into gardening this year. Over here we have some more wildflower mix and some sweetness melons, one of which is actually happy and making a melon. Not sure how big these will get. I don't think they're going to get that big. The man that I originally heard about these from said they're single serving size, so I'll have to do a little research on that. This is our fig that was grown from a cutting. My friend Julie gave this to me, and it's actually starting to put figs on. It's year 3 for this. And the funny thing about this fig tree is the first year we had it out here, my neighbor's gardener back here jumped over the wall, jumped down, and broke 2 branches off of it. And that was great because it actually made it make more branches. So don't be afraid to prune. This is our newest addition to the garden this year, Malbec grapes. And they have done quite well. I wasn't sure, but when you know that grapes are actually grown, Malbec grapes, in the desert of Argentina, it tells you they have a chance of actually making it here. We do have these shelters on them for the first year, but in the fall, once it cools off out here, these shelters will come off. And I just put a little of my cayenne pepper, garlic, onion spray on these to give them a little protection now that they've come out. And I will be treating these for borers in the winter or the spring possibly. Over here we have our crazy eggplants and carrots going to seed and onions going to seed. Ooh, and a bee. We love bees. Bees are wonderful. But I just harvested a bunch of eggplant. I have it dehydrating in the oven, and this is setting on a bunch more. I tell you, eggplant in the desert is a gift that keeps on giving. Over here is our mullein that went to seed the second year. They do die off, but amazingly, another one started at the bottom, and I'm not quite sure how that happened, but we'll take it, because mullein is a wonderful medicinal herb. It's good for your lungs, and it's a natural antibiotic. It's active against negative and positive gram bacteria. Do your own research. Some basil popping out there. Calendula. Oh, there's our bee. Planted flowers for you. Make sure you get my garden flowers. Lemon balm and rotunde eggplant over here. And if you look carefully back here, you can see I have a bunch of tomato seedlings coming up. And normally I don't plant tomatoes this time of the year, but I do save seeds. And I left them in the water a little too long, and they started sending roots out. And once that happens, you're not going to be able to dry those because they're going to die at that point. So I went ahead and put them out here, and yeah, I'm going to be transplanting these out, and I'm going to give some of these to my friend Sierra, who is the newest little gardener in my life. Well, check out that bumblebee. He is happy. I don't know actually what kind of bee he is, but he's a good bee because he's helping me out here in the garden. Well, have a blessed day and hope you enjoyed this update in our garden.